Hello there, my name is Louise Reynolds and I'm a Carew registered dietitian and a member of the Irish Nutrition and Dietetic Institute. And I'm delighted to have teamed up with the National Dairy Council to have a chat with you today about nutrition and key things that we can do at this really unusual time, this COVID-19 pandemic that we all find ourselves in. We know that whether you're at home isolating on your own, whether you're cocooning, whether you're with your family and spending a lot more time at home, everybody's routine has really been changed and thrown into disarray at the moment. So it is understandable that lots of our normal habits and routines have changed. However, when it comes to nutrition, we do know that eating well is really good for our mental health, for our well-being, also to add to that good sleep, a little bit of regular exercise within your 2-kilometre radius, and of course getting some fresh air. These are all small steps that we can do to look after ourselves at this time and to do the best that we can for ourselves and our families. So if you're struggling a little bit, maybe you're working from home and you're trying to mind young children, so the first thing I would say is be kind to yourself. We all, are trying to do our best, and when it comes to nutrition, that's just another thing that we're trying to make healthy choices as often as we possibly can. If we're not getting to the supermarkets as often, it's a really good idea to make a shopping list. Plan your meals ahead. So for example, you might say, well, we'll have a chicken dinner, maybe once this week, we'll try and include some fish, maybe we'll have some red meat, we'll try a couple of vegetarian recipes. Now is a great time to try out some new recipe books, get your children involved. Certainly if you have teenagers at home, it's a great idea to teach them a few cooking skills in the kitchen as well. So don't be afraid to try some new recipes. So if you are going to the supermarket less often, it's a good idea to plan your meals and also to make a shopping list. So here is a good time to really have a look in your store cupboard and to stock up and think, what can I have at home that's going to make it easier for me to make nutritious meals and snacks throughout the day. So if we think of the kind of main foods in our diet, the whole grain foods. So here, these would be our, cereal foods, pastas, rice, bread. In terms of nutrition, go for whole grain, unprocessed varieties more often than not. And that's going to be really important for the fibre content and their vitamin and nutrition content. So we know that if you're eating a very pale, bland diet, you're probably not getting the range of nutrition that you should. So maybe go for brown rice. Have brown rice in the cupboard, try some wholemeal pasta. And again, when it comes to breakfast cereals, go for the whole grain and wholemeal varieties. Porridge is a great favourite. If you like porridge in the morning, that's fantastic. So that's a really good start to the day. Another thing I would suggest is to have a routine. So have a kind of a rough guide for breakfast, lunch and dinner time. If you're working at home, take your break at lunchtime, walk away from your desk, go into the kitchen and sit down, maybe with other family members or whoever you are self-isolating with. It's a good idea to kind of enjoy that time together and take a break from work. If you then are going to the supermarket, so you've got your whole grain foods, fruit and vegetables are another really important group of foods that you should try and include more often in your diet. Maybe one of the new habits you could try and form during this time is eating more fruit and vegetables. So fresh fruit and vegetables are great if you've access to them, but if they run out and you're not going to the supermarket for another day or two, it's a good idea to have some frozen vegetables on hand. Frozen fruit can be really useful as well to throw into a crumble if you're making it at home, or to add to foods that you're cooking to boost the nutrition content. But also tinned vegetables are great standby. So tinned peas, beans, lentils are a really good store cupboard staple to have at home. Then if we think of the dairy foods, so we're talking about milk, cheese and yogurt, these are great foods to have in the fridge. And really you can rustle up, a whole range of nutritious snack foods and meals, by having some cheese, if you're having cheese on toast, grating some cheese on a baked potato. With yogurt, you might want to add it into a curry, particularly for children. It's a really handy one to make it a little bit less spicy if they're developing their taste buds. And certainly then for snack time, fresh fruit with a dollop of yogurt on top, maybe some seeds sprinkled, can be a really nutritious snack food to have during the day. Milk, of course, is a really good standby, and it's a really good source of protein and calcium. And again, if an older person is cocooning at home, protein is a really important nutrient to try and include some at every meal. So if you enjoy a glass of cold milk, that's fantastic to include that during the day. Protein foods then that are really important for everybody in the family, and particularly the elderly who may be at risk of frailty if they're not exercising as regularly. Protein foods would be, as we've mentioned earlier, maybe chicken or lean meat or fish, but also to have in your store cupboard some chickpeas, tins, peas, beans, packets of lentils. Adding them into a stew, into a casserole or a soup is a fantastic way to boost the protein content. If you like nuts and seeds, again, they can be added to a range of meals, great for snacking as well, dried fruit and dried nuts. So they can be really nutritious snacks to have on standby. So you're steering clear of kind of reaching for the biscuit tin. Another thing is, if we're finding ourselves at home a lot more, as we are at the moment, when you're going into the kitchen, ask yourself, am I really hungry, or maybe I'm just thirsty? Am I really hungry, or am I just bored and looking for something to do? So just kind of check yourself and see, okay, let's have 3 meals a day, having healthy snacks in between. And that's a really good way to try and to keep on track. If you have children at home, again, try and eat together. This is a really special time that we may look back on and say, we got time to spend together at meal times. So try and get everyone to sit down together, turn off the distractions, turn off the TV, put away the phones, and try and enjoy some family meal time together. And again, try out new recipes and maybe get the children involved in cooking as well. So if you do want to try out some more recipes, or for more hints and tips, check out the website that the NDC have, ndc.ie, for more helpful recipes there. So whatever you are doing, enjoy this time, enjoy experimenting, keep well, keep safe, and continued healthy eating.